Say that happens where the fans have been waiting there all night for this pick, and we get an offer that we really can't turn down. It makes sense. We got to do the right thing, and hopefully our fans will forgive us.
Anything can happen. We're prepared to do whatever we need to do. And look, if our guy's not there, we're sitting there, and our guy's not there, we will move back. So I'm just preparing the fans. Be ready. You never know what's going to happen here.
I love them. They are the best.
So, you're going to be out there for 4 hours.
And we might screw you over, but be prepared.
And they might not make the pick.
We'll bite your kneecaps off, too.
And that's just part of the reality of hosting the draft. And look, the better your team is, the later the pick's going to be, if at all. And somebody may offer them something. They may be a team that gets an offer that they really like for someone to come back and get Bo Nix. If Bo Nix is still on the board, 29 is going to be a spot where maybe the Broncos, Sean Payton, one of the mentors of Dan Campbell, may give him a call and say, hey, I'd like to come up and get that pick and get Bo Nix. And off we go. If it's a deal they like, they're not going to say no to it. And the Lions fans will be there for round 2 when they pick 61st, round 3, 73rd. They don't have a 4th round pick. Maybe they'll get more picks in this year's draft that the Lions fans can enjoy hearing get called out from the podium. One thing Lions fans can enjoy, and maybe this is part of the effort to make them feel better about not having a pick tonight, the Lions doing the smart thing. We've been talking so much about how the Cowboys, when it comes to great young players, cheap, short-sighted, and not as smart as they think they are. Lions, not cheap, not short-sighted, and smart enough to know what's good for them. Get these guys paid now. It's never going to get cheaper. They got 2 guys, 3 years in, that they want to keep. Amon-Ra St. Brown was the first one to emerge yesterday. A receiver, the 17th receiver taken, well into the draft, entering the final year of his contract. Boom, they get him done.
Yeah.
Now, the initial reports, as they always do, were loaded with caca, $30 million a year. It's not. We got the full breakdown at PFT as to what the deal's really worth. Michael Pittman's contract is better. It's better. It pays $70 million over 3 years, and Pittman's free after that. Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to make $63.3 over 3 years, and he's still going to be under contract for multiple years after that. But it's still a great deal. It's a fair deal. You do it now before Justin Jefferson blows the market out of the water, before Jamar Chase does the same. Get it done now. It's only going to get more expensive as these other deals get done. And you're only going to have a guy who's wondering, what do you really think of me? What do you really think of me? Like, let's show him what we think of him. Let's not play games. Let's get it done. It's a great message, both with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Penei Sewell, who was a top 5 pick and still had 2 years left. They get both of them done. And the new money average on both is $28 million. It's kind of weird to see them both get the same deal. There are differences in structure and whatnot, but they're both at $28 million. And the Lions, hey, welcome to being a contender. Now you got to pay guys.
Yeah. The big thing is like you said, get out in front of it, right? I mean, the market might change. Amon-Ra St. Brown might lead the NFL in receptions this year with 127, and then he's going to go, wait, I want significantly more than what I would have settled for last year. They get out in front of it. They take care of a guy that they drafted. They take care of a guy that we know has got a chip on his shoulder and feel like he was underdrafted, and we know that. We were all wrong about Amon-Ra St. Brown. And you dangle out, like we always talk about, a life-changing contract to a guy that hasn't hit it rich yet, and they're going to go, damn, yeah, I'll take this. I'm not going to, pinch pennies over every last dollar and what I might be worth next year after whatever. So it's a great job by everybody there. And that's same with Penei Sewell to go along with that, right? I mean, Penei Sewell is without a doubt one of the best right tackles in football, and really probably after Lane Johnson retires in a few years will be. This is a great deal for them all together. All right, so, but hey, last thing too, because I know we got one more thing to hit on with the Lions. That draft thing, I mean, those last 4 picks of the first round, I would think the Chiefs, the 49ers, the Lions, the Ravens, they're all going to be looking to trade down, right? It looks like the Lions have their sights on one guy that they might be there, and that's the kind of team the Lions are, right? We kind of learned that last year. They don't give a crap, what everybody else says or where everybody else's board is. They took 2 guys that were a little down the road on everybody's board last year. So they know who they want. They know who they like. And if that one person's not there, yeah, they're going to trade down. And I think you're going to see the bottom 4 teams of the draft there all go, wait, none of these guys are really first rounders that are left here. Can we trade down and acquire some more picks? Because there's a lot of good players to be had in the second and third round.
And look, with 32 teams, there's going to be teams that aren't among that Final Four group that really love a guy and would like to have a 5-year
have a desperate
option
need,
instead
right,
of 4.
exactly.
And they'll try to trade up.
Right.
It just depends on what they offer and
That's
whether they
right.
get it done. Remember last year, the Titans were furiously working the phones trying to trade up to get Will Levis, and there just wasn't a deal that the teams there were willing to do. Maybe this year it'll be different. Speaking of quarterbacks, Jared Goff. Extension is not close for Goff. He's in the final year of his contract. This is the deal that the Lions inherited with that trade from 3 years ago with the Rams. It's actually not a lot of money that's being paid to Goff this year. Goff, Dak Prescott, Tua Tagovailoa, 3 starting quarterbacks for playoff teams that could be unrestricted free agents a year from now. And, the Lions have Hendon Hooker, 3rd-round pick from last year, kind of in that let's see what we do with him mode. But, from the Lions' perspective, the question is, how far do they think Goff can take them as they try to win a Super Bowl? And how much are we going to pay him to be the guy to try to take us that far? That's the challenge with a veteran quarterback, coming up with the right number.
I think that's right. That's the question, right? It's just like, how much is him? How much is the team, the culture, whatever else, right? He's exceeded expectations. That's been great. But do we still feel like he can carry us through a tough moment or that, whatever? I mean, again, most quarterbacks would get lambasted if they blew a 17-point lead in the NFC Championship game. But because, there's an expectation with Jared Goff that maybe isn't as high as other guys, we kind of just went, oh, wait, they did miss on 4th down, and we don't even talk about it, right? So, yeah, I think that's a fair question, right? I mean, again, he went to the Lions. And 2021, we were like, wait, he's not the answer for the Lions long term. In 2022, we went through half of the year going, he ain't the answer for the Lions long term, right? I mean, you were making fun of him. Like, the guy's only won 3 games since he left Sean McVay. He can't win a game unless he's at home in a dome or whatever with Sean McVay. Remember that? Right? So,
yes.
Just because of last year, all of a sudden it's like, damn, we got to pay him $50 million a year. I just don't imagine the Lions doing that right away here. They probably want to evaluate this a little further. And this would be the year. The bullseye, the expectations are there, right? And now you can get a fair evaluation for what you're expecting here.
He's not even 30.
Yeah.
It's been 8 years since he was the first overall pick in the draft. And this went from, kind of a Brock Osweiler deal that was low-key. The Rams buried Goff's contract into the Stafford deal. The thinking was that an extra first-round pick got put in specifically to get the Lions to take the contract. So it started off as, we're just going to get through a year or two with this guy. And then it's like, we kind of like this guy. And now how much do you like him? How much are you going to pay him? And what's his alternative if the Lions don't give him what he's looking for? Let's take a break. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.